edition, and this is for Windows Server 2003 R2 Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition, Standard x64 Edition, and Enterprise x64 Edition. So we're just going to press F8, I agree. We're going to press Enter to install in the unpartitioned space. And we're going to format using the NTFS file system. I'm actually just going to choose quick because we are in a virtual machine and we don't need to actually check the actual sectors of the hard drive. But if you're doing it on a real computer, it would probably be best to choose actual or the full format. And now it's going to check the drive and it's going to copy the files over. And so I'm just going to let this do that. And now it's going to initialize the Windows configuration. And we're just going to press enter to reboot the computer. And once we do that, from now on it's probably going to look very similar to any Windows XP style setup. You see we have a sort of Windows XP style boot screen. It just says Windows Server 2003. And we're going to get to a screen that looks just like the XP setup, but it's in gray, as you're going to see here. Yeah, so just to kind of, I guess, indicate that it's, a server instead of Windows XP. But yeah, so this can take a while, especially since this is the Enterprise version where it has like a lot more stuff to install. While it's doing this, I guess I could tell you about the different editions of Windows Server 2003 they had. From what it looks like, they had 3 different main editions. One was called Standard, one was Enterprise, the one we have here, and the biggest one, or the most advanced one, was Data Center. Now the Standard edition was aimed towards small to medium-sized businesses, and it had some things like for file and printer sharing and Office secure internet connectivity, and yeah, basic things like that. And it was also capable of addressing up to 32 gigs of RAM. And from what it looks like here, it had both a 32 and a 64-bit version. Now the Enterprise Edition was aimed towards medium to large businesses, and it's a full-function server operating system that supports up to 8 physical processors. So you could have 8, like not cores, but actual processors inside of one server. And it could, and that would allow it to use some enterprise class features such as 8-node clustering using the Microsoft Cluster Server. And it actually used support for up to 64 gigs of RAM. Now the Data Center version was basically for the best, or for the most advanced businesses. This is like the best of the best version you can get. It supports a maximum of 32 physical processors, and again, those aren't cores; those are actual processors. And 64 gigs of RAM, so you can have 64 gigs of RAM in this thing. And yeah, so basically. And it also supports 8-node clustering, just like the Enterprise Edition. So yeah, that's basically the a sort of technical overview of the 3 different editions. So yeah, here we are at the regional and language options. This is basically just like XP. You just want to press next, type in your name and your company or your organization if you have one. And yeah, so here we're going to get to the licensing thing, where we're going to have to choose I guess licensing mode. So in order to avoid licensing agreement, use licensing which is located in administrative tools to record the number of client access licenses purchased. So we're probably going to choose, I'm actually just going to choose the second option here. I'm going to click on next, and we're going to enter in the computer name. So we'll call this Server 2003, and we don't want to have an admin password. We're going to choose, we're in the Eastern time zone, so let's find that. I always forget where that is in this list. There it is. Nope, that one. And we're clicking next, and so yeah, that is basically it. I don't believe, hopefully, with the whole product key thing, hopefully there's not like a bunch of licensing stuff we have to deal with. Hopefully there'll be an option where we just have to not enter in any key. And we can just, I can show you the actual operating system without entering a key. But yeah, so I believe that is basically all I really can mention in the meantime. So I'm probably just going to pause the video here, and I'm going to let it finish up, and I'm going to come back once it is finished. Alright, so we're at another option here where we have to choose the networking settings. Now we're just going to choose the first option, which is for the typical settings. We're going to make it not part of a domain, and I'm just going to call it a work group. You can change that if you want. And it's going to continue copying files. So I'll be right back once it's at the next prompt. Alright, so the virtual machine has just restarted here, and it's going to be booting up again. I believe the rest of the setup is just very similar to the XP setup. We'll just see what happens next. So we got the same gray screen. Okay, so we got Windows just starting up. Maybe it's done already. It would actually be pretty cool if it's already done. You can see that we have Enterprise Edition. Alright, so we're just going to press Control-Alt-Delete to log on. So I'm just going to go up here to Insert. Control-Alt-Delete. We're just going to press on OK since we did not put a password on the admin account. It's going to set up a bunch of personalized settings. And yeah, there we go. So, it does appear that this is actually Windows Server 2003 R2. So, I guess, yeah, we'll just go ahead and, go through with this installation. So, yeah, we're going to click on Next, and it's just going to copy files. Okay, we'll click Next, and it's going to begin copying those files. So, while it's doing that, I guess I saw it complain about that our screen resolution was too low. We can probably change that. We'll go 1920 by 1080, and I'll make this full screen. So there we go. We'll keep that. So that's going to copy files over, and it looks like it's done. So yeah, I guess Windows Server 2003 R2 was not, a paid upgrade. So yeah, we're just going to click on Finish. And it does have some post setup security updates, so we're gonna have to install some critical security updates and then configure automatic updates. So we'll click on update the server, and yeah, so this is the server manager thing where we can do things like add roles to the server. And like manage server roles. You can open up administrative tools, things like that. Basically, as you can probably tell, this is it doesn't look like as graphical as Windows XP would. There's not really that much on here. It's kind of stripped down in the terms of user features, but you would not really be using this as a client operating system. This is intended for a server. So you have a lot more administrative tools in here, such as remote desktops. Not this remote desktop, but remote desktops, which looks kind of interesting. I'm just going to launch it just to see what it is. Yeah, so I'm guessing we can just use this to... Okay, it allows you to connect to terminal servers. That's pretty self-explanatory. So I don't have an active terminal server on my network, so it's not going to be able to find anything, but yeah, so that is pretty cool. Of course, I'm not going to go through all of these features. We'll click on cancel. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. I will just run a winver command just to show you, that yeah, we are here running Windows Server 2003 version 5.2 Service Pack 2. You'll see that the copyright date is 2006. So, and yeah, it hasn't asked me to enter in any product key. So, I believe that this is not activated or anything, which is kind of nice because I'm sure that most of you, if you're just using this in a virtual machine, it's just to take a look at it and you'll see how the operating system looked. But if you're doing this on a real server, like an older server, you can probably figure out how to obtain a license if you want to, or just get a much newer version of a Windows Server if you want to. But yeah, I think that's just about going to wrap it up for this video. Again, thanks to all you guys who suggested this video. As those suggestions do really help. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions of your own, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. I just always enjoy reading what you guys have to say. And yeah, guys, I think it's just about it. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.